everyone, it's Keely here for Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for today's video. We are going to go and make Busy Bee soap. First of all, we're going to go and make some little bees, then I'm going to show you how I make the flowers before we start making the soap. Let's go! Okay, so we're going to make some little bees to go onto our soap. How cute is he with his little smile? So let me show you how I made these ones up. What I'm going to start with is some Sunshine Yellow from out of the Pimp My Soap range, and I'm going to break off a piece that's probably about 1.1 grams, was sort of the best size that I found for doing these with. There, that will do there. It's just a little bit under, but that's okay. What we're going to do is roll this up into a ball and then form it into a tear shape. I just like to give it just a little bit of a butt there. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that shape there. Now what I'm going to do is grab my skewer and I'm going to put some lines in here, and this is where I'm going to put the black lines or the black stripes. I like to do it this way so that when I put my black stripes on here, they will actually sit down and flush with my yellow. I'm not keen on having them sticking up too far. So just using that. Now, if you don't mind your soap dough sticking up above that yellow, you don't have to put these lines in. This is just my personal preference. So now that I've got the little lines in the body, I can grab my little soap or clay extruder tool, and I have got the one, it's a disc that comes with it, lots of little holes, and I'm just going to extrude a little bit of the licorice soap dough like so. I'm not going to do too much because I don't want this all to air out and dry, so just enough to do my bees as I need them. Going to break off a piece and I'm going to push it into those little grooves that we made. And if you don't have a clay extruder and you still want to make your little bees, you can just get your black soap dough and roll it out very thinly. Just for the number of them that I was doing, I found this to be the quickest and easiest method and gave me a little bit more of a consistent look across my bees. But that again is a personal choice. So we've got all of our little stripes on our little bee, and now we're going to make his face. So to do his face, I have got myself a tool with a little fine ball on the end, and I'm going to roughly guess where I want their eyes to go. And the placement of their eyes is kind of what changes the look of them. So mine, I've got them fairly close on this one. What I'm going to do is grab a piece of this soap dough here. I'm going to take off just the smallest amount and roll that into a ball, and that will actually form one of his eyes. Oops. That's one, and let's do another one that is roughly the same size. And then to do the little smile, I get myself just a small piece of the soap dough and I roll it out, and it's literally going to be very small. You may even need less than that. The smaller it is, the cuter the little smile turns out to be. So I'm going to get that fairly thin. And now from that piece there, I'm actually going to break that down into about half. And I'm going to put just the tiniest little bend in it. And again, this is something that can actually really change the look of your bees, how much of a curve that you actually put on the smile. It's a bit hard to see it right now while it's stuck to my thumb. I'm just going to pop it there for a moment. I'm going to grab our little bee back. I know it's quite humid here today, so my soap dough is actually a little bit sticky because I've been working with it for most of the day. So I don't need any water to adhere mine. I know that it's going to stick. So we've got that on. Let's get a little smile on there too. Oh dear, I don't like that smile on there. It's squished. Let me try another one. I'm going to start again for the smile because I'm really struggling with it right now. I think it might be to do with the camera angle that I'm on. So I'm going to roll myself out just a very, very thin piece again. cut that piece off the end. We'll actually use that one. Gonna put just a very tiny curve on it. You'll see it better once it's on my bee. And I'm gonna stick it on his face. Oh, that's a bit better. So there's my little bee face. Now to really kind of make his eyes pop, we're going to put some titanium dioxide. It's too much to try and make up some little white things to stick on there. So all I'm going to do is get my titanium dioxide lid, which has got some remnants of the colour on here. And I'm just going to pick it up with my skewer and dab it on the eyes. So that's brought him to life a little bit more. Now we just need to do the wings. To do the wings, I have got some milk soap dough. I'll break a bit off of here. I'm not sure I really like this camera angle I'm using today. I was trying to make it easy for you guys to see what I'm actually doing, but I feel really, really awkward. Anyhow, we're almost done. So I just broke myself off a little piece of the milk soap dough. I'm just going to roll it into a bit of a sausage, and then I'm going to squish it between my fingers and kind of get it shaped into how I want my wings to look, thinking about it being symmetrical on each side. I'm pretty happy with how that's looking, so let's grab our little bee. I'm going to pop it into the middle of my bee here, and with my skewer I'm just going to very, very gently push down, not too hard, otherwise you do separate the wings, but just hard enough to make sure it adheres. And there he is. He's got a lopsided smile. Look at him. Let's get his smile. That's better. There is our little bee. So I have got all 18 of my little bees done up. So now let's make some little flowers. Okay, so let's do the flowers for our little bees to collect their nectar from. These are what we're going to be doing, and I am using some brand new molds which I have got in on the Pimp My Soap website. Now, I have got this one here, which are some sunflowers, but this little mold here, this has got a variety of flowers on them, and it includes one of these sunflowers as well. I've been using both of them, but for this one we'll just use our little one here. Same method for this as for the bigger mold. To do our sunflowers, I have got some orange soap dough, and what I'm going to do is break myself off a fairly small piece. The smaller the better, otherwise the colours tend to bleed. We're going to do some colour build up. So I've got a very small piece here, going to roll it into a ball, and then on our mold here we're using the sunflower. I'm going to pop it into the center. You don't want it too big that it overlaps, and otherwise you end up with that color bleed, but just big enough to fill that space. Now I'm going to take some of the sunshine yellow and going to just condition it up a little bit. So we've got a fair amount. Doesn't really matter with this whether you use too big a piece. In fact, sometimes it is better. What we're going to do is pop it into the middle, and then I'm just going to squish it into that cavity. Once I've got that full, and it doesn't matter that it's over full, I've got one of these scraper tools. I'm just going to scrape off that excess soap dough, and then just gently peel our silicone back away from our flower, and there it is, our little sunflower. So let's do another one. So again, just small enough to fit into that center cavity. That looks good. I'm going to grab some more of this sunshine yellow. And then onto the top. I was using this bigger one, and I was doing all four at the same time, so it does get it a little bit quicker. But scrape that off. I've probably scraped a little bit too much. That's all right. We'll just put some more in. It's the great thing about working with soap dough. All right. Got that one. Pull it back, and our flower pops out of the mold like so. Now to do the little purple one, it was exactly the same method, except for I've used this one next to it. Let's get that excess yellow. To do it, I have got some of the pink left over from when I did my little Prosperity Christmas soap. I mixed some bubble gum and some milk soap dough together to get this pale pink. So again, I'm just breaking off a tiny ball to go into the center of that flower. Now, if it is too big, you can just get your scraper tool and just scrape out any excess like so. And then for the purple, I have got some lavender. Let's cut a piece off. And exactly the same method. I can see I've got a bit of yellow stuck under there. Let's get that out. Pop the purple on the top. Scrape off that excess. Oh, squish all my other flowers while I'm at it, and then pull it back, and out comes that flower. Now, to do these white ones, it is again exactly the same thing. I didn't mess around with it too much, but what I did find, because it was a smaller hole, you do need to have just a little bit of something in there to help the soap release. So I've got a little bit of tapioca starch, and I'm just going to dab it inside the hole that I'm going to be using. This is especially so because it is so humid today and everything is just sticky and horrid. I'm going to grab some white soap dough and I'm going to push it into that cavity like I did with all the others. Scrape off the excess, and then again it is just a matter of pulling the silicone mold back and then pulling the little flower out. So now that we've got our flowers and our bees all done up, let's go and make the soap. Alright, so now that we've got all of the embeds done, it's time to get into making the soap. I'm using a fragrance oil called Buzz Off, which I've had from off Aussie Candle Supplies. It's got notes of tropical berries, red currant, acai berry. There's some honey in there, which you really get those notes. A bit of rose petal, fresh greens, and a bit of musk. Now, it does say that there is no vanillin or ET vanillin, but it is a little bit yellow in colour. So I've decided to do the base of my soap in a yellow, and then I'm going to do some drops, or try and see if we can get some curly whirlies going with some orange, purple and white. Now, it sounds like a really odd combination. I'm just hoping it works because I'm a little bit stuck on the colour palette. I should have thought more about it before doing my flower embeds. To leave this one sit for about 10 minutes because it is super fluid, and then we'll come back and we'll do some piping and put our embellishments on. Alright, so this is firmed up enough that we'll be able to put our embeds on without everything sinking down, hopefully. I am just going to randomly place them on there. Each soap is going to get their own individual bee, but the rest of the flowers are just going to go on here however they end up. So maybe let's put our little bees on now so that they've all got their little home, and then we'll just randomly place all of the other flowers on here. The flowers are likely to get cut when we bring the soap cutter out, but I really don't want to hurt any of my little bees. I am absolutely in love with this top. It is so bright and happy and cheery, and those little bees are just so cute. Gonna leave this one sit overnight and we'll be back very soon, and we'll cut it open and we'll see what curly whirlies we got on the inside. Okay, we are ready to cut into our Busy Bee soap. I am so super happy with how this has come up. It looks really, really fun and bright and cheery. I will admit the fragrance has faded quite a bit out of this one, so hopefully sometimes when they fade out like this, they do come back throughout the cure process. So we'll see what happens there. I have got this all lined up. Hopefully we miss all of our little bees. Oh look, oh, very well lined up. All of our little bees have been missed. Let's take this end piece off and see. Oh, lots of swirlies in there. I need to get my tray to put these on. That's better. I'll pop them straight onto a tray so that they don't get handled too much while they're still at this sort of state. So I'm really pleased with how that's actually come up. I was quite worried about the colour combination at first. I'm glad I did lighten up that orange colour, but it just looks so busy on the inside there. So really happy. It really suits sort of like the Busy Bee theme. And that's our little Busy Bee top with our tiny little bees. I love their little faces. It's what really sets them apart from just other things on the soap. It just makes them look so cute and lifelike. Might not show that soap for too long. It looks a little bit rude to me. So there is another one there with our little bees on top. But yeah, unfortunately, it is still there, but it's not nearly as strong as it was when it came out of the bottle and when it went into the soap. It's a lot milder. That real strong sort of honey smell that it had has really dissipated, but it has just left a really gentle floral behind. So this is going to be perfect for those that actually prefer to have a bar of soap that's not highly scented or not too overpowering, but still want just that little bit of scent in there. So not too angry with it, but if you are after a really strong scent, this may not be the one for you. But really love how busy all those curly whirlies have gone inside of here. Really pleased. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how I made my Busy Bee soap. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a great one, and I will see you then. Bye.